And we learn more about the impacts of this visit from Kervin Oquin. He's the former lead intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance coordinator for the U.S. Army and the host of This Week Explained podcast. Kervin, it's great to have you with us on this important topic. Specifically, how does the growing partnership between Russia and China affect Russia's warfighting ability in Ukraine?
Well, it doesn't affect the warfighting ability. Obviously, China has sent over munitions covertly to Russia, but there's not going to be any sort of broad Chinese approval of what's going on in Ukraine. See, Xi's been very careful about trying to remain neutral, but what's going on here with this summit is basically just diplomatic symbolism. So the two leaders have come together. China sees what's going on within the Indo-Pacific in the United States. The United States has brokered deals with the Philippines, Japan, South Korea. And so China sees themselves just like Russia did whenever, just before they invaded Ukraine, that we are being surrounded by adversaries. And so we need to do something. We need to have support on this. And so Xi requested Putin to come over to Beijing, have these discussions to show the world, especially the West, that they are together and they are a strong partnership.
I understand what you're saying, Kervin, and of course, China buying Russian oil following the initial invasion there is certainly going to bolster the pocketbook of the Kremlin there as it pursues its goals. What do stronger ties between Russia and China mean for the world order?
Well, it means that Russia, China, Iran, they are becoming isolated. So they look at this and they've dubbed themselves the Global South. This is a term that came out during the Vietnam War, the Global South. And the Global South sees the West as a true adversary, as an enemy, not only to their countries, but to stability and security in the entire globe. So this is just forming up those alliances, similar to what we saw during World Wars I and II. Who are going to be the allies for the Global South and who's going to be the allies for the Global West? And so that's what we're seeing right now. And listen, we've been talking about this for 3 years now. Xi has made it his goal to reunify Taiwan, to go against everything that they said they would not do over decades of good diplomatic relations with the United States. And their plan is to go into Taiwan within the next 2 to 3 years. I've even got it as close as 2025 for that invasion, and China's going to need support when they do that.
Yeah, and there have been a lot of war game simulations about that as well. What does the Chinese regime mean when it says it wants to play a role in setting the Ukraine war, settling this politically?
Yeah, so last year, Xi Jinping and the CCP put out a 12-step plan for peace within Ukraine. Unfortunately, that peace in Ukraine meant that whatever Russia wanted, Russia's going to get. So Russia had annexed certain regions within Ukraine, and in China's plan, they said that those regions would stay aligned with Russia. Ukraine has come back and said, we will not agree to that. This is not something that is conducive to security or the freedom of their own borders. And they knew that if they did agree to that, Putin would have the ability to continue that western march through Ukraine and hit other countries like Moldova, Georgia, those Eastern European countries.
Thank you for the analysis this morning. Kervin Oquin, the former lead intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance coordinator for the U.S. Army.
Thank you.